What is going on, everybody? It is John with Shiny MTG and more, here to bring you an Atraxa deck tech that I have been working on since the deck has come out. There has been some changes here and there, and I would still say it's probably not even fully optimized at this point. There are definitely some tweaks that I'm still looking to make. So if you have some ideas for some tweaks of cards you think maybe shouldn't be in here, I am definitely open to suggestion and would obviously like to hear from you guys to see what you think might work better than some of the stuff that I'm running. And this deck is not meant to show off to people. I just have a unhealthy obsession with collecting foil cards. That is just my thing. I like to collect foils. I know not everybody likes to collect foils, and that's cool, you know. So let's keep the hate at a minimum if we can about foil cards, because yeah, some people like them, some people don't care, and the people who don't care, I can appreciate that, and I'm sure you save a shitload of money, because I know, yeah, some of these things can get a little pricey. But without further ado, obviously Atraxa, we pretty much all know what Atraxa does. I'm going to zoom in a little closer here. But if you don't know, she is a 4-mana legendary creature who's a 4/4 flying, vigilance, death touch, lifelink. And at the beginning of your end step, you proliferate. So that is pretty insane right away, depending on how you build your deck. I have chosen to go the Super Friends route, as I find that to be really fun. And this deck isn't meant to be a tier 1 type of deck. It's not meant to go to a tournament and go crush everybody. I mean, it has done okay, but it's not meant to be just the crusher of souls, you know? It's meant to be able to kind of do a lot of different things. My strategy in pretty much all of my commander decks is to ramp and draw cards. That's pretty much been my motto since I started playing Commander back when Kalia came out. So there you go. So anyway, let's start. So after Atraxa, we're going to go ahead and start with our mana base here. Mana base and rocks will be in this pile. So go ahead. And of course, we'll start with Underground Sea. Obviously black blue. We're just going to go through these. I'm sure you guys know most of these cards. We got Tropical Island, Tundra, Bayou, Savannah, and Scrubland. So those are the 6 dual lands we can play, given the 4 colors. And yeah, moving on to Shocklands, we got Watery Grave, Brady Pool, Hallowed Fountain, Overgrown Tomb, Temple Garden, and Godless Shrine. Obviously, these lands are optimal because you can put them into play untapped if need be. And we all know one turn in Magic could make or break you in a game, so it's important to try to get your lands out untapped if you can. But it's also sweet to have the choice to bring them into play tapped if you don't really need it for that turn. Obviously, we need some fetch lands to go get said lands. So Polluted Delta, Misty Rainforest, Flooded Strand, Verdant Catacombs, Windswept Heath, and Marsh Flats. I haven't really gotten stuck on land too much in this deck. I do run 34. I've been in between 34 and 35 lands. I kind of switch back and forth. The reason I seem to get away with 34 right now is because I do run some rocks and some ramp, which I'll obviously show you coming up. We're in the section now where we're kind of in the lands that make any color to help us fix our mana, of course. So Tarnished Citadel, I think, is very underrated. When you need the mana, you don't really care about the 3 damage. Obviously, you don't want to use this card for mana like 5 or 6 times in the game if you don't have to, but you know, to get 1 or 2 uses out of it, just to get what you need to get out, I find it worth it. So Tarnished Citadel is one of them. City of Brass, of course, is a classic. 1 mana of any color for 1 damage. Gemstone Mine can make mana of any color, and it has 3 counters on it when it comes into play. Obviously, you use Atraxa's ability with Gemstone Mine to kind of just keep abusing that. Command Tower, of course, makes a mana of any color. Mana Confluence is very much like City of Brass. Pay a life, add 1 mana of any color. Alright, so now we're in the situational lands that could make any color depending on the situation of the game. So, Gemstone Caverns, if you're not going first in the game and you have it in your opening hand, it's a turn 0 card. It just comes into play, it has a luck counter, and it makes mana of any color. So pretty sweet. So either way, like, I think it's worth it to have that. Aether Hub's kind of the same thing. It comes in the battlefield with an energy counter. If you can keep that energy counter on it and get Atraxa out, very good. If you have to use that energy counter, then just kind of, it's okay. It's not bad. It's been working out so far. Reflecting Pool, obviously dependent on the lands you have in play, but this can make up to 5 colors depending, or 4 colors I should say, in this deck. Then we have some removal, of course, for the pesky things like Cabal Coffers and some of these other lands that are, you know, a problem. You need to be able to react to them. Strip Mine is a good way of doing that. Wasteland, of course, is another good way of doing that. Vesuva kind of gives you a little bit of flexibility with people's lands. Like if you are, for whatever reason, having a land problem and someone has a land you can need, like say Command Tower or things like that, it helps you get out of a jam sometimes. Temple and Ancient Tomb are kind of self-explanatory. They make 2 mana. They help you get things out quicker, obviously. The Maze of Ith helps protect the Planeswalkers from getting hit, obviously. Core Haven's the same. We got Urborg. So Urborg, the reason that's in here is to turn Maze of Ith into mana, as well as other things. From fetch lands to Core Haven to whatever. It just helps fix. So that's why Urborg is in there. So we're on to the rocks. We got Mana Crypt. We got Sol Ring. Mana Vault. Grim Monolith. Chromatic Lantern, of course, great in this deck. Helps fix all your lands. And Coalition Relic. Great card as well with the charge counters and Atraxa being able to abuse that. So it's ridiculous. And then, of course, Gilded Lotus, which helps you make mana of any color as well. So those are the cards that I really use to obviously help with my mana base. It helps keep Atraxa running smooth for the most part. Every once in a while we'll still run into hiccups. It's 4 colors. It's expected, but pretty consistent overall. So we're going to move on to the next pile now. Okay guys, we're going to start with the second pile here. We're going to be with creatures in the deck, which I run 6 creatures. I'm kind of mixed between a couple of these cards, maybe coming out in the future. I just can't find myself able to not play Eternal Witness, but I'll show you the 6 creatures real quick. We got Eternal Witness. I run Clever Impersonator. Just a very helpful card. Mid to late game, this could be an absolute bomb. I really enjoy playing this card, but this probably doesn't even need to be in here either. But just personal preference, I really like that card. There's a lot of things I can copy in this deck that could really just be a blowout later in the game. Spike Weaver, of course, Fog Machine with Atraxa is pretty good. A Viral Drake, this card is actually a very underrated card in my opinion. Being able to smack an opponent with Infect for 1 time and then be able to just keep proliferating your Planeswalkers plus their Infect damage, plus, you know, counters on Spike Weaver. This card just can get really bonkers mid to late game. Deep Glow Skate, this card is absolutely ridiculous. In this deck particularly, but just in general, the fact you can even blink this thing, it's so dumb. I don't really have blink effects too much in this deck. I mean, I have like Venser and stuff, but just, it's pretty much you play this card, same thing. Like, if you have some Planeswalkers out, you probably just win when this hits. Crystalline Crawler is another absolute bomb in this deck. So good with Atraxa with the proliferating. So we'll move on to the ramp section. I have Crawler towards the ramp area too, because it obviously helps with the ramp. Skyshroud Claim's awesome, 2 forests, and you can see obviously I have plenty of targets for that, so that's very good. Mirari's Wake, it helps me make more mana to get my stuff out quicker. Mana Reflection is the same thing. I play enough rocks to make this really good. I run 2 counter spells. Mana Drain's obviously good. Slow down tempo early and help get out a walker quick. Force of Will speaks for itself. Obviously, if you have to tap out, this is always good to have just in case. We're on the proliferate side of things now. Contagion Engine is a bomb. You can combo with this card. I tend not to try to combo, but sometimes it does happen when a certain amount of cards are out and you have like Chain Veil and Contagion Engine and Teferi and, you know, all that kind of stuff. It just ends up happening. Inexorable Tide. Yeah, whenever you cast a spell, proliferate, obviously great. Tezzeret's Gambit, another great card. You draw 2 cards, pretty much for 3 mana. You don't really care about 2 life, and then proliferate, really good. Rings of Brighthearth is obviously good for many reasons, but the main reason is to be able to copy your Planeswalker activated ability. The Chain Veil, also amazing in this deck, allowing you to activate abilities more than once per turn for a Planeswalker. Doubling Season is probably the all-star of the deck, as most of you probably know. When a card comes into play, essentially, you can get twice as many counters on that permanent instead. Same thing with tokens. So obviously with Planeswalkers, getting double loyalty counters on the Planeswalker from the get-go is insanely strong. And obviously, as I show you the Planeswalkers at the bottom of this, you'll see how insane that can be with certain walkers. Praetor's Council. So a lot of people don't play this card in this deck. I love having this card as an option to draw because you pretty much know if you get this mid to late game, you have a very high chance of winning if this resolves. Obviously someone can windfall you or something, but it's unlikely. We're on the tutor part. So tutors, we run Enlightened Tutor. Obviously it helps you get Doubling Season or some other stuff you might need. Vampire Tutor lets you get whatever you need. Same thing with Demonic Tutor. Idyllic Tutor also helps you get Doubling Season. Pretty common target. We're on the card draw side of things now. Phyrexian Arena, amazing card if you play black in general and you play Commander. I feel like Phyrexian Arena is a auto include pretty much in every deck. Same thing with Sylvan Library with green. If you're running green, you should be running this card. Amazing card advantage. Again, there's been multiple times I'll go down to my 20s early in the game just drawing extra cards with this card. Heuristic Study, another amazing card. People are often greedy in Commander and don't like to pay the extra one, so you get the benefit from that. Sensei's Divining Top obviously helps you organize the top of your deck, helps you kind of get things in the order you want them to be in, to plan your strategy accordingly. We're on the board wipe side of things now. Merciless Eviction, incredible board wipe. Exiling effects in Commander are huge. This is one of the best cards to do that, in my opinion. Corrosion Grip, another amazing card to help stop combos. The split second ability really helps you clamp down on certain people who like to combo out on you. Damnation, a great board wipe, obviously. Anguished Unmaking, a good spot removal. Really good, 3 mana, the 3 life you don't really care about. And being able to, at instant speed exile a non-land permanent, pretty strong. Toxic Deluge, widely considered one of the best board wipes in the game. For 3 mana and any life you choose, you can give creatures -X/-X. Obviously, extremely strong. You obviously want to, wipe as many creatures as you can while you have your walkers out to keep building them up. Supreme Verdict, another great board wipe. Just obviously it can't be countered, and obviously getting rid of all those pesky creatures. We got Cyclonic Rift, another amazing board wipe. I'm actually really surprised this card still isn't banned in Commander. The overload ability is just insane. Everybody else's non-land permanents bounce, and you get to keep yours. Seems fair. Auster Command. I really like the card for the versatility because obviously there's situations are different in every game, so this card can be played in many different ways. Pernicious Deed is another one of those good cards that, again, very versatile. Can help you with all sorts of different strategies that people play. Tokens, you can pay 0. It's just a strong card. Helps you out. Wrath of God, the classic, of course. Now we're in the Planeswalker section of the deck, and this is the part where I'm not sure. There's a couple cards I'm not sure if I should be playing, shouldn't be playing. Liliana of the Veil is one of those cards. I do like that later in the game, like if I Doubling Season and play her, I can ultimate her right away. And her ultimate's pretty strong. It lets you separate all permanents target player controls into 2 piles, and they have to sacrifice. I'm not quite sure though that it's strong enough to make the final cut. So I think part of me just likes to play Lily because it's Lily. I don't know if it should actually make the final cut in this deck or not, but really strong when it gets to like a 1 versus 1 situation in the game, but at the same time, there's probably better options out there. Johnny Steadfast is obviously an awesome Planeswalker. High synergy, helps you out. I mean, it's just, the ultimate on that card is dumb. Cura, also kind of the same thing, helps you draw cards, helps you ramp, play cards, additional lands. If you can get her ultimate off, I mean, it's crazy. You start getting 9/9 Krakens at the end of each turn. It's really good. Tamiyo has one of probably the best ultimates in this deck. You basically get Omniscience once that happens, and you get to draw cards. So pretty sweet card. Elspeth Knight Errant, again, it's another Doubling Season card. When it comes into play, you basically make your stuff indestructible outside of Planeswalkers. Here's another one that I'm not quite sure about, Garruk Wildspeaker. I really use Garruk for the untapping 2 lands. There isn't, Sometimes I can make a token and proliferate and kind of make tokens, but that strategy, I don't usually use it. I usually just use it to untap 2 lands, and I don't know if that's good enough to make it, but again, your guys' thoughts would be appreciated on Garruk Wildspeaker. I mean, he's a great planeswalker. I'm just not sure if he's cut out for this deck in particular or not. So let me know what you guys think about Garruk. Jace the Mind Sculptor. So, obviously Jace is really good for the drawing card ability. I pretty much zero Jace all the time. I never used -12 in a multiplayer game. Just like the same thing with Karn. Like, I won't use the ultimate on Karn either. It just seems pointless to me. I'd rather just 0 or -1 Jace. Dovin Ban. So this card's an absolute bomb if you get the ultimate. Your opponents can't untap more than 2 permanents during their untap steps. So pretty much it just crushes them if that happens. Johnny Mentor of Heroes. Another good one. Being able to look at the top 4 and put a planeswalker in your hand, just helping kind of, rifle through your deck and get the cards you need faster. And obviously the -8, gaining 100 life, that's pretty good too. Tamiyo. Tamiyo's another good one. The emblem alone is insane. Having no maximum hand size, and whenever a card is put into a graveyard from anywhere, you can return it to your hand. It's pretty good. Liliana Vest. This is another one I'm not quite sure about. It's one of those cards you would think a lot of times it would make a deck, but I guess it just really depends on the meta and like what people generally play in your group. If people are playing like creature heavy decks, I guess Liliana Vest could be really strong. Again, you can ultimate it right away with Doubling Season, and you can take all creature cards from all graveyards and put them on the battlefield under your control. But obviously this deck in particular doesn't run a lot of creatures, so I'm not sure that it is the right thing. Obviously most people play Vest to search their library for a card and put it on top, but I'm not sure that it's good enough for this deck, so let me know what you guys think about Vest. Tezzeret the Seeker. I love this card. This card's amazing. It helps combo late game if you need it to. The untapping 2 artifacts, you can untap Chain Veil and untap, rocks, or untap Contagion Engine or whatever. It's plus it lets you search for whatever. It's really strong. I really like this one. Jace Unraveler Secrets. That's another one. Absolute bomb. If you have Doubling Season and play that card, you pretty much just crush people at that point too. Whenever opponent casts his or her first spell each turn, counter that spell. That's fun magic right there. Vraska the Unseen. I love this card. It's great in this deck. I love the idea of getting the assassin tokens on the battlefield and the fear, people knowing they have to get rid of them, and obviously the -3 of destroying target non-land permanent's really good too. But I love the ultimate. I think it just makes this card's so fun to play. So the reason I have Venser after Vraska is because I've had in a game having the 3 assassin tokens and then making them unblockable with the -1, which is obviously hilarious because I sent 1 assassin at each guy and killed all 3 guys. But Venser, obviously amazing. Whenever you cast a spell, exile target permanent. That's fairly strong. It's pretty good. You can obviously use Venser's blink ability on Deep Glow Skate or Walkers or whatever, which could be really helpful. It's just a versatile card. Sorin Grim Nemesis. Another one that's just, I like all 3 abilities, and obviously the Doubling Season. Being able to put all those Vampire Knights with lifelink on the battlefield equal to the highest life among all players. Oh man, that's crazy. I guess that would be good with Garruk Wildspeaker's ability, giving the overrun and everything. Johnny Unyielding. I really like this guy's ultimate, putting the 5 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control and loyalty counters on each planeswalker you control. Seems pretty good, plus the Swords to Plowshare -2 ability. Really strong. I like Elspeth's board wipe ability. I would say I use her +1 every once in a while, but it's really, I feel like I'm board wiping or I'm just trying to get the emblem. Using that with Atraxa is pretty good. Teferi is an absolute bomb in this deck. It's one of the best planeswalkers in the deck. The untap 4 permanents thing is just absolutely insane. Honestly, I don't even need to use the -10 when Teferi's out. -1 is more than good enough with this card in my opinion. Soren Markov, yes, it's kind of cheesy. The whole your life total, opponent's life total becomes 10, but you know, when people are gaining insane amounts of life with some of these decks like a Loro, you need a way to keep them in check to a degree, and Soren obviously helps you get there. Karn. So Karn just kind of speaks for himself. He comes out, he exiles the biggest threat on the board. Hopefully he lasts for a couple turns to keep doing that, but usually he dies after you do it once. And then, of course, one of the bigger bombs in the deck is Ugin. Ugin's ultimate is absolutely insane. Doubling Season just makes this guy just absolutely dumb. You gain 7, draw 7, put 7 on the field. When you're doing that, it's pretty much a wrap. The game's pretty much over. Really solid card. But so that was my Atraxa deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, let me know what you would change in the deck, what you think would be better. And I have many more Commander decks to go through if you guys are interested. So let me know. Hope you enjoyed it. I know it's been a while since I've done an MTG thing, but I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.